look. Honestly, I haven't had enough time to not be salty about it, but I'm not gonna be salty about it. It was a good game. It was a pretty fair game. Honestly, look, if 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 there was anything to take away from that game, at least for me, it was that I mean, like Patrick Mahomes was clearly the best football player on the field. Like I
No,
don't even
Jalen Hurts outplayed him.
Yeah, Jalen did outplay him pretty good too. But Patrick, so Jalen
I
had more.
listen. Patrick Mahomes on one leg,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, he was hurt.
Bro, they
Yeah,
juiced him up.
Patrick
Yeah, that.
Mahomes on one leg.
Bro, they
Patrick
juiced him up
Mahomes,
at half. He's fine. He would have been fine for like
Yeah,
3,
I
4
saw.
hours,
I
bro.
saw.
I know. But look, hear me out. Patrick Mahomes
Mhm.
on one leg took on the most ferocious pass rush in the NFL, the best secondary in the NFL, and like one of the most side to side fucking linebacker crews in the NFL. Like they literally drop Hassan Reddick half the time. Like he went against the most well rounded defense in the entire league
Yeah, but
on one
Antonio, that
leg.
wasn't
He
that
didn't
wasn't
get
him
sacked
though.
one time. But look, listen, he didn't get sacked one time in that entire game
I know.
on
That's
one
because his
leg.
offensive line played good. It wasn't
He-
Mahomes.
no, but he was pressure, bro. He was maneuvering around pressure. He was maneuvering around the pressure
All right,
on
so
one leg,
hold on real
like
quick.
fucking.
So I did see it is a conspiracy now that I don't know if it's true or not, but I did see somewhere that someone posted that they want to drug test Mahomes to make sure they didn't juice his ass up at halftime because of the like he appeared to be fine after coming out after half.
No,
But
they
I don't know
look.
how true that
Well, not
is.
they don't. They're not gonna juice him, but they
They're
gave
not gonna
him they
juice
gave
him.
him
They
a
just
shot at something just so he can't feel the pain.
Yeah, but I'm sure
Everyone
they're
no.
gonna
did that.
test to make sure it's something that's legal. So
You
I
know,
think that's the
it's
question.
they're not gonna shoot him up with anything stupid. They just gave him a shot to numb the pain, and you
Yeah,
could see
but that
like
shit is
he
like
was.
a horse trank, bro. It's serious.
No, yeah, but Dom, they do it they do it in every game. They do it for everybody.
They're
Whenever
shooting
somebody
him up with
gets
that
hurt
Brock
and it's
Lesnar
something
shit.
that they could do,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
something they can just shoot up. Fine.
Yep, they're shooting him up with
Yeah,
that shit that Brock Lesnar
But I'm
got.
saying that numbs it for 3 to 4 hours. Like it's not like he was.
they
Yeah, it's
didn't
probably just
they
painkiller.
yeah, it's just pain relief. They do it for anybody. They didn't give him steroids in the
Yes,
back
I
of
know, Antonio. But what I'm saying is he wasn't on one leg, bro.
All right,
it's
all right. Just
it's
let's.
just a morphine shot, bro. Like you see, he was freaking hobbling off the field, and
Yeah.
then he came back at halftime like it was nothing. They wrapped that bitch up, gave him a couple shots, he was fine. Well, what I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes
They gave
faced
him some milk.
it's secret juice.
They just gave him
The
some
secret
milk,
juice.
man. Strengthen up the bones,
Nah,
the loins.
he got the secret juice
Paulo
from Paulo
Costa.
Costa. Look, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts didn't outplay Mahomes. Like stat I mean, you got to really define you have to define outplay, right? Because Patrick Mahomes, no fumbles, no sacks taken,
hmm
like
I mean, Jalen wouldn't have
literally,
got sacked either.
like I
He
said,
just ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. He didn't know that would have been a sack, or else he wouldn't have got sacked the whole game either.
Yeah, that was the
I
only
know.
sack of the whole game. He was getting
But
trailed, and he ran out of
but what
bounds,
I'm
but they called that a sack.
what I'm saying is just because Jalen Hurts did more doesn't mean he played a better game. Patrick Mahomes played a perfectly flawless game on one leg against the best
That's
defense in the
true.
NFL. That's
All
what
right,
I'm
That's
now,
saying.
all
true.
right, now let me ask you real quick. If that holding call was never called, do you think Jalen Hurts would have traveled down and got a game-winning field goal or a touchdown for the win? With how hot he was?
It's definitely
I
a
mean,
possibility, but
we can't say either way if he would. I mean, 50-50, but I mean, I think he would have had an opportunity to, and that's the point. Like that
yep.
holding call robbed him of an opportunity to
hmm
win the game. Now it was
It was
James. I mean,
holding. It was
it
a
was
ticky-tack
holding.
call.
It was holding, but it was a very, very, very ticky tacky call that did not need to be made. It
Yeah,
did not need to
I
be.
did see
There were worse holding calls than that during the course of the game that didn't get called at all.
yeah, I saw James
You know,
Bradbury did come out. He did say it was a holding. that I tugged
Yeah,
his jersey, and
but
I was hoping that they would let it go. But you know how people are gonna be. People are still gonna say it's rigged. People are gonna say bad call, and they're
yeah, well, they
you
did.
know.
They
But
they you see the same thing happened to Cincinnati last year in the Super
mhm.
Bowl. The Rams were driving down the field. Cincinnati made the stop and put themselves in a position to win the game. And then there goes that flag for holding
It's a part
on
of the
the.
game. It's a part of the game. The refs are
You
human.
know,
You
what I
know,
mean.
it's a part of the game.
Like
Refs
you
make
have to.
mistakes sometimes and stuff like that. It's just it's part of it. It is what it is.
You look if you want to win the Super Bowl, you have to win it. You can't. It's like a fight. You can't keep it in the ref's hands,
Mhm.
or you can't keep it. You can't put it in the judge's hands because the judges don't know shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if you have like last night, we saw Dana White's reaction to the fights, or not last night, the night before last night. We saw Dana White's reaction to the fights where he thought. Volkanovski came out with everybody thought Volkanovski came out with the win, but they gave it to Islam Makhachev. The thing is, it was close enough that it doesn't matter. You can't leave it in their hands. If Philly was the better football team, they would have came out and won the football game by more than 3 points. It is what it is. When it gets that close, and you put it and you leave it in the ref's hands, shit happens,
I
man.
will
Play with
say
fire.
I predicted this. I did say they were going to go back and forth. It was going to be a back and forth close game, and it was going to come down to the last drive. I knew whoever had the ball in the last drive, that was going to define the game. Either they were going to score or they weren't going to score. And that's
The
exactly
Eagles
what
should have
Well,
happened.
had it on the last drive. Well,
Yeah, they
well,
should
this
have,
game, this
but they didn't.
well, this game was either going to go one of two ways. Either Philly was going to blow Kansas City out, or it was going to be a close game like it was last night. Now it almost started happening that way. Philly was up 14-0 or 14-7, and they were driving. They were about to go up 21. If they take that drive all the way down, they go up. What is it, 21-7?
21-7.
And then Jalen Hurts drops the football, and it turns into a tie game. And from there, the momentum stayed tight between like Kansas City stayed in the game. From that was a huge momentum switch. Now, if that doesn't happen, Jalen Hurts takes Philly down the field, scores again, and it's 21-7. It's 21-7 going into like the second half of the third quarter. Then we're talking about they can let the pass rushers go. Philadelphia can just run the football and just start
Yeah, it's a
really
whole nother game. It's a whole nother game.
completely. If that play
see,
doesn't happen, it's a completely different game.
I hate when you say that because like you say the whole momentum switch and all that, but like yo, y'all, it's not like you guys didn't do anything after that. You guys were up 10 at the half. Like
I know. I
there was
realize
no
that.
there was
I
no
realize that. But what I'm
even
saying,
though it happened, there's no way that you can like pin that on that
Dominic,
specific play because
nobody, no,
you guys turned around and got the momentum back by scoring 10
Dominic,
unanswered.
I realize that. Nobody's sitting here blaming the entire loss on that game or the entire loss on that one play. What I'm saying is that was the huge momentum switch that put Kansas City in the driver's seat. Like Philadelphia was driving
You
down the field. They were about to go up 21-7. That's what I'm saying, Dominic. That was the play that Kansas City needed to get back into
but
the football game. I'm
what
not saying
momentum did
Kansas
they
City
get?
won the game.
They didn't
They s-
score.
they
They didn't
they
score
went
after
they
that.
went for Okay, Dominic, I'm not saying what I'm saying is the game went from going to be 21-7 to 14-14. That's what happened in a split second. It was going to be 21-7, it turned to 14-14. That is the biggest play that had happened up until that point in the game to put Kansas City back in the game. That is all I'm saying. I'm not saying the Eagles only lost because of that game. The Philadelphia Eagles lost because of everything that occurred from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. What I am saying is that was the key play that kept this from not being a fucking blowout, from Philadelphia not running away from this thing. That is all I'm trying to say. That was a really, 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 really huge momentum switch play for Kansas City that gave them 7 points. If they don't have that 7 points, they don't win the football game, dummy. That's what I'm saying. Like that was a huge play for them. They needed that play, or else shit was gonna get out of hand quick, bro. It was getting out of hand, bro. It was about to be 21-7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to
So that
think,
was a big
if they put that pressure on the Chiefs, do you think Mahomes maybe tries to force some big plays and they cause some turnovers and stuff like that? That could have been an opportunity to maybe get some turnovers.
You got to think if Philly goes up 21-7, then the DBs come back and Philly just unloads the front seven, and Mahomes gets eaten alive.
Mm-hmm.
They just unload the front seven and run the football for the rest of the game, and Kansas City won't have a chance. Kansas City probably wouldn't have a chance to get back into the game from that. 21-7. They unload the pass rush, and then Philly just runs the ball for the rest of the fucking game. Not saying Kansas City wouldn't have came back, but it would have been a way different game. It would have been way harder for them to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If we're talking about like a 14-point swing, then that's different. But they only won by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is the fumble 6 was the big difference. That was the big play.
I don't know,
but
man.
I mean, the game played out how it did. I mean, at the end of the day, too, if the Eagles would have gotten one last drive, if they didn't make that penalty, Chiefs are up 38-35. They have about, like a little over a minute left in the game. Do you think Jalen Hurts drives down the field and gets it done, or do you think he tries to force it? And because we see it time and time again with these big games, they come down to the wire. The last drive, quarterback tries to force it, interception. So do you think that happens, or do you think they drive down and they actually tie this game up, we go into overtime, or even score a touchdown? They've scored quick touchdowns multiple times in this game. Do you think they go down and score a touchdown?
It depends on how you want to look at it. If you want to look at it like Jalen Hurts was hot in that moment because he made the drive in the previous, or he made the previous drive and he made it look easy, went down the field and scored really quick, then you could probably say he probably would have did it again. But if you want to look at like the half in totality, only scoring 3 points in the third quarter, only scoring 8 points in the fourth quarter, and that like most of that came at the end, then you could probably say, there's a better chance that he wouldn't have made the drive. You know what I mean? Like that the big signature drive was the last drive that he made, probably.
So who do you guys think? Oh, Dom, did you want to comment on that at all? Do you think Jalen Hurts would have went down to score? Do you think they would have got a field goal? Or do you think he would have?
Yeah, I think he would have. I think Jalen Hurts gets better, with more pressure on his shoulders, and I think he would have got them at least in field goal range. I think the RPO, especially because they had, they wouldn't have had any timeouts.
Okay,
I still think they wouldn't have been able to stop him. With Goddard and AJ and Devontae.
Yeah, Goddard and Devontae were having a game. They were having themselves a game.
Well, damn, Devontae, after the first quarter, he didn't really get looked at.
Yeah, it was all Goddard, really, second half. Goddard was coming in clutch. Huge catches, huge plays when they needed him to, too. Very reliable.
You know what really sticks out to me in this game? Miles Sanders had 7 carries for 16 yards.
Yeah, but they were using everybody, though. They weren't really rushing them.
They weren't, because look, Jalen Hurts got 15
for everybody.
Jalen Hurts got 15 for 70 and 3 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell got 7 for 21. Yeah, man, there wasn't much going on in the running back room. Jalen was the only one. Like they had the running backs hemmed up, man. Jalen Hurts was the only one able to move the ball because, he's the last option. So
who do you guys think from each team, one player, who do you think was like the game changer? Like, in my opinion, I'll give my first opinion. The Chiefs, the Isaiah Pacheco guy, he didn't have that many yards, only 76 yards, but he was very, very clutch. When he needed to make a play, he showed up and he made a play. Who do you think
he's a rookie too?
Yep. Who do you think that person was for the Chiefs, and who do you think that person was for the Eagles?
For the Eagles, in my opinion, it was Goddard. He was making every play that needed to be made, especially on that last drive. I think it was like 2 third and longs. One was a 3rd and 14. Draped the defender was draped all over him. He just literally mossed him. I think it was Goddard for the Eagles. The Chiefs, yeah, I could say Pacheco as well.
What do you think, Antonio?
All right, so so what's the question again? You want to know
Who do you think was like the game
is
changers
it
of each team? Who do you think had
kind of
like the
like the
most
MVP
impact?
of each team?
I wouldn't really
Um,
say MVP because obviously Patrick Mahomes would be the MVP of the Chiefs.
yeah,
Jalen Hurts would be the MVP of the Eagles.
I'd
But
say
who do you
I'd
think
say
was like the game
I like
changer?
that I like Dominic's choice of Dallas Goddard. I think that's probably actually the right choice. Dallas Goddard was in position to make most of the big plays.
Hmm.
Uh, he had he had that one goddamn incredible catch, man. Like you remember that one he had on the sideline?
Yeah,
Was
remember
Yeah,
that?
that a
it
catch
was
or did they
third.
give it?
It was the one I was in 3rd and 14.
Yeah, he had a few
Yeah,
really,
dude.
really, really good
It
catches.
almost reminded me of that Julio Jones catch when he made at the Super Bowl. Dude, like he just freaking
Hmm.
almost parallel from the ground, full extension. I mean, Dallas Goddard he did everything in this football game. But I'm gonna go with Devontae Smith. He has one more catch than Dallas Goddard. He has looks like 40 more yards than Dallas Goddard.
Hmm.
The thing about Devontae Smith is that Devontae Smith was unstoppable. He made so many he didn't make as many clutch plays on third down when they absolutely needed it as Dallas Goddard. But Devontae Smith was, dude, I didn't see him drop one catch all game long. If they had gone to Devontae Smith more, I think it would have yielded a really good income. I mean outcome. You have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown against rookie cornerbacks, and AJ
Well,
Brown's taking double team.
it just it
AJ Brown's taking most of the double team. So Devontae Smith, I think, should have got most of it. I'm going with Devontae Smith on the Eagles and fucking Travis Kelsey, dude. Travis Kelsey
Hmm.
for the Chiefs. He
yeah.
had the opening touchdown. He had most of the like when they needed a play, it was Kelsey. It was Kelsey and Goddard, man. It was the tight ends.
Hmm. Yeah, the tight ends for
The
both
I
teams
Eagles,
definitely
the
came in
Eagles,
clutch.
you could. I mean, you could go Devontae. Just how you see it for the Eagles.
I think
Devontae was the one who got them going in the beginning of the game. He didn't really do much at the end to decide the game, but in the beginning, he was their fire starter.
I
So I mean, you could go that
no
route.
I agree with you. I mean Devontae Smith had more production, but Dallas Goddard was coming in clutch. He had more big plays that that led to Philly, scoring more points. He had more clutch plays. I agree. I'm gonna change my mind. I agree with Dominic. I like Dallas Goddard. I think Dallas Goddard was
All
the
right,
one.
so final thoughts on the Super Bowl. It was I just want to get your guys' final thoughts on it. It was a good game, but it seems like every Super Bowl now there's some type of controversy in every single Super Bowl. Either one team blows out another, so now they're investigating something, or a ref makes a bad call that no one agrees with. Now it's uh, you know, Eagles against the refs or whatever, stuff like that. But what do you think about the game overall? It was a really, really good game.
You can go first.
It was a good game. It was a really fun game. Um, there were calls here and there, but honestly, and this is coming from a huge Eagles fan. Honestly, it wasn't as bad this year as it usually is. Like like when you look at last year, like there were some calls that literally ripped the game away from the Bengals. The Bengals should have won that football game. When you look at the year before that in Tampa, when like it was the Bucks versus the Chiefs, and the Chiefs were getting every single bad call, and the Bucks weren't getting called for anything. This game wasn't that bad. I mean, it was a pretty fair game. You had that call at the end that kind of swung it in Kansas City's favor, but at the end of the day, that wasn't it. The game was close enough to where if Philly did a couple more things differently, that play call by the ref shouldn't have mattered. So it was a good game, really fun game. I think everybody balled out. Jalen Hurts balled out. Patrick Mahomes balled out. There were it wasn't a boring Super Bowl, high scoring. I think it was great, man. It was a really
Hmm.
good Super Bowl. The call at the end kind of killed the vibe a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was a fair game. It was a good Super Bowl. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think it was a good Super Bowl too. I think it would have been better if they didn't call that to see if Jalen Hurts, even if they went into overtime, that would have been pretty crazy with the new rules that you have to score a touchdown for the game to be over in the first possession.
Yeah.
Or no,
Yeah,
sorry. Or no,
well, you
sorry.
have
No, because if you score a touchdown, I believe that you still have a chance. I believe, right?
no the new. I'll say so. The new rules are both teams are going to get an opportunity to score a touchdown, and if the first team scores a touchdown, the second team doesn't score a touchdown, then
Yeah,
it's
and they win.
boom.
But
Yeah.
I think it was really good. Probably one of the better Super Bowls at least I've watched.